XTH Creates!
Welcome back, TechShades Creates. I am XTH, and today, well, we're working on yet another form of Sonic. This time around, working on Storybook Sonic. I'll be working on accessories from both Sonic and the Black Knight and Sonic and the Secret Rings. So, without further ado, I'm ready to get into it if you are. So, before we get into the figure itself, we've got some people to thank. So this time around, the parts come from the courtesy of two users on Cults 3D. One is, of course, our resident GOAT, Jack Sonic Models. And the second one is someone that likes Sonic 1991. And fun fact, these shoes are meant to work with the modern Sonic and Supersonic heads that Jack Sonic Models had already created that we covered in a previous video. And with our many thanks out of the way, the first thing we have to do is, of course, print our parts. So all in all, they weren't very hard to print besides the sword and gauntlet for Black Knight Sonic. And I don't accredit this issue to Jack Sonic Models whatsoever. This was entirely my fault. And the reason is, I couldn't get the orientation right. So it took me several passes, a lot of time, and more plastic than I really wanted to use in order to get this to print correctly. They look like they print fine here, but when I actually went to take them apart, as you'll see, there was a lot of plastic still left on either one side or the other side, and it just wouldn't have looked very good, no matter how much post-processing I did. So I ended up having to print it upside down, and that worked the best. There was still a little bit of plastic stuff that I really didn't like once I got all of it off, but I was able to clean it up and get it looking pretty nice, I would say. Speaking of 3D printing, if you're wondering why the shoes have been printed in a gold color, it's because the buckles on Sonic's shoes are gonna be easier to paint if I don't have to paint with a metallic paint. Because if there's one kind of paint above all others, in my experience, that absolutely sucks when it comes to covering things, it's metallic. I learned that from trying to do the Akanea Adventure Sonic. Regardless, I'm just trying to take all the plastic off of all the parts. Like right now I'm working on the flame. I decided to do the hardest thing first, for some damn reason. And then after taking the plastic supports off, it's a simple matter of just using some sandpaper, in this case it was 180 grit, and sanding plastic supports, whatever left of them, off. And also sometimes you'll see me using a box cutter, and that is for plastic supports that are a little bit harder to reach. Ones that the needle nose pliers couldn't get to. And actually, painting this time wasn't a complete pain in the ass for me. So, there's two main reasons for this. A, it's not a whole lot of small stuff that I have to paint, well besides the flame. And B, I got to use these Gundam markers that I purchased a while back. And I got to use them quite a lot, and they worked super well. After I used them for the metallic bracelets on Silver's gloves and boots, I was absolutely convinced that these were the way to go when it comes to painting anything metallic. And it worked out super well. By the way, the colors that I used were, these are all Nick Pro colors. Navy blue for Sonic's fur, ochre for his skin color, black, white, grass green for his eyes. I use metallic silver and metallic gold Gundams, mainly for the Black Knight sword. I use normal red for his shoes. And I use a sun yellow, red, and orange for the flame. And after putting a coating of matte spray on all the parts, and also putting a gloss varnish on Sonic's eyes, it is now time to put them together. So I've already got a Sonic body. It's all prepped and ready to go. Now just time to heat up these pieces, put them on, and I'll be able to show you what he looks like. So the parts in general were super easy to put on. Jack Sonic Models just seems to have the peg sizes down. As for the shoes, they weren't hard to put on at all, but this might just be a This might just be like one of those mileage may vary kind of things, but the Sonic's right leg, so it'll be on our left side, that leg didn't quite want to go into the shoe that well. I guess there just wasn't enough to grip onto, so it kept falling out. But it eventually was fine once I let it settle. It still does pop out sometimes, but it's not the worst thing in the world, honestly. A little annoying, but it's fine. Either way it goes, now that we've gotten all of our parts on, now I can show you what they look like. Woo boy! I am quite happy with how this figure came out. Especially Caliburn and the Gauntlet. So I actually ended up using some Vallejo wash effects, black, in order to get that super stained and rustic look to it, and I think that really elevated how the sword looks. One other thing that I did was I did a Nick Pro metallic gunmetal on the main part of the sword, and then did the Gundam marker on the edges, so it kind of gives it a really nice contrast look. But regardless, I'm super happy with the way this came out, and I think that the shoes, the fact that they're a little bit larger than the standard Jack Sonic shoes, really helped things. I think it makes him look even more accurate to how he looked on the Wii. Alright, but that's enough about Black Knight Sonic. Let's move on to Secret Ring Sonic. And here's Secret Ring Sonic. I think the flame really helps this figure out a lot. Honestly, it looks better on camera than it does in person. Sorry that I had to flip the footage, it kept falling down, it was really annoying. Anyways, it's posing time!
Every world will have its end, and I'm here to prove it all to you. I am who you don't think I am, all wrapped up in my evil plan. I can taste the day, save a night, spells beyond you as I watch you. Do you dare to fight evil's might? I'll be the last one standing in a flash of light. My eyes are filled with curiosity. You think that you have power over me. In this life, there's no room for you and me.
Alright, and that's all I've got for you this time around. Now this guy can go up with my other customs. Well, stay tuned for more custom figures on XTH Creates. See you later. Have a good one.